Waiting for the final investigation report on the crash of Air India flight AI-171. Today is the first anniversary of the tragedy that, remember, shook the nation and the entire world. As the International Civil Aviation Organization Accident Investigation Authorities, they are expected to publish a final report within 12 months. But till now, the report has not come out. Some reports are stating that it might even get delayed, but the wait for the answers, that continues. Let me take you back to June 12, 2025. It was Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner operating from Ahmedabad to London. Just 32 seconds after the takeoff, the plane suddenly crashed, and that claimed the life of 260 people, including the passenger, the crew members, and people on the ground as well. Only one passenger survived, and it was one of the deadliest aviation accidents in the Indian aviation history. Have a look.
अहमदाबाद में हुए प्लेन क्रैश को 1 साल हो चुका है। आप ये जो मेरे पीछे देख सकते हो, हम वही साइड पर खड़े हैं जहां पर पिछले साल 12 जून को प्लेन क्रैश हुआ था। और ये जो सामने जो आप साइड देख सकते हो, वहां पर ही उसकी कॉकपिट अटकी हुई थी और उसके बाद पीछे से ये सारा प्लेन यहां पर क्रैश हुआ था। ये जो अतुल्य मोस्टल है, अतुल्य मोस्टल की ये चारों बिल्डिंग आप देख सकते हो। अतुल्य मोस्टल की पार्ट 1, 2, 3 और 4 चारों बिल्डिंग पूरी तरह से ध्वस्त हो चुकी थी। अंदर कैंटीन थे, मेस में जो बच्चे खाना खा रहे थे, वो सारे भी प्लेन क्रैश में उन्होंने जान गंवाई थी। और कुल मिलाकर 260 लोगों ने इस अहमदाबाद प्लेन क्रैश में अपनी जानें गंवाई थी। जिसके बाद अगर ये हॉस्टल की बात करें तो हॉस्टल में जो पीजी के सारे डॉक्टर्स रह रहे थे, उनकी अगर बात करें तो सरकार ने यहाँ पर ऑडिट किया तो बाद में पता चला कि ये हॉस्टल अभी रहने लायक नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से टाटा एयरलाइंस की तरफ से मुआवजे की मांग की गई, जिसके 53.12 करोड़ की मांग की गई थी। लेकिन वो सारी मांग पूरी हुई और टाटा एयरलाइंस की मुजब से टाटा एयरलाइंस की तरफ से 53.12 करोड़ दिए गए, और जिसमें सरकार ने अपनी तरफ से भी पैसे जुड़े और टोटल मिलाकर 105 करोड़ की हॉस्टल यहाँ पर बनने वाली है। जो आप चारों बिल्डिंग देख सकते हो, ये चारों ब्लॉक है। चारों ब्लॉक गिराकर यहाँ पर एक हाईटेक हॉस्टल बनेगी जहाँ पर मैरिड पीजी डॉक्टर्स रह सकेंगे। यानी कि सारे 1 BHK होंगे, जिसमें लिविंग रूम के साथ एक हॉल, एक बेड और एक किचन भी रहेगा। और जो सारे यहाँ पर जो हाईटेक हॉस्टल बनेंगी, वो हॉस्टल के साथ जिम सेंटर, गार्डन वगैरह सब कुछ चीजें भी होगी। यानी कि मैरिड जो पीजी डॉक्टर्स है वो अच्छी तरह से रह सके, ऐसी यहाँ पर पूरी सुविधा होगी। अहमदाबाद से वीडियो जर्नलिस्ट संकेत के साथ दूरसंचार, यहाँ टाइम्स ऑफ नव भारत।
ये जो अहमदाबाद में 12 जून 2025 को जो फ्लाइट क्रैश हुई, उसमें मेरे फैमिली के 3 मेंबर हैं। एक का नाम मेरा सबसे बड़ा भाई परवेज वोरा, मेरे से बड़ा है। दूसरा मेरे भाई की डॉटर 3 साल 8 महीने की है, जुवेरिया वोरा। और मेरे मौसी यास्मीन जी वोरा 50 साल के हैं। वो दोनों ट्रैवल कर रहे थे। तो 12 जून को मैं सीधा 20 मिनट में, अराउंड 20 किलोमीटर के डिस्टेंस पे था, 15 से 17 मिनट में अहमदाबाद सिविल में मैं पहुंचा हूँ विद फैमिली। वहाँ पे हफड़ा थफड़ी चल रही थी। जो ग्राउंड में जो बचे हुए थे उन लोग को हॉस्पिटल लाया जा रहा था। भाग दौड़ी बहुत सी थी, बहुत सी पब्लिक भी वहाँ पे अवेलेबल थी। तब तक हमें पता नहीं था कि सब डेथ हो चुके हैं, इसलिए हम उन लोग को जिंदा ढूंढ रहे थे। 12 तारीख को रात को अप्रॉक्स 9 से 10 बजे के तकरीबन ये पता चला कि सभी की डेथ हो चुकी है। जब हमें DNA सैंपल देने के लिए बुलाया गया, तब जाके हमको पता चला कि सब एक्सपायर हो चुके हैं। हमारी पहले से लेके अभी तक एक ही मांग रही है कि हमको ब्लैक बॉक्स के डेटा ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ दिया जाए, या तो कोई रिपोर्ट आ रही है तो वो भी ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ आए, जिससे हमें सच का पता चले।
And with that, we have a breaking update coming in. The investigation into AI-171 crash investigation that is still underway, and the final report we're learning is expected to be delayed by around 2 to 3 months. Officials are saying that the probe is moving in the right direction, but some challenges, including the West Asia situation, the war that is going on there, they have slowed the progress. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, that is aaib, is also considering releasing a status update, even though the international guidelines do not require one if the final report is delayed beyond 1 year. Sources further say that final report will be detailed and made public, and there is no interference that has been made by the ministry, keeping the investigation completely independent. So as far as the investigation into AI-171 crash is concerned, that is currently underway. Let me go across to my colleague Arunil, who's been tracking all the details. Arunil, probe into what really led to the crash, that is still underway. But why the delay in releasing the report?
Well, Akansha, at present I'm reporting from the crash site. On this very day last year, that was June 12/2025, the Air India plane basically crashed over here. This is the hostel premises of BJ Medical College. You can see it is completely charred now. Obviously, it is part of the investigation because here the crash had taken place. There were students who were having their lunch in the mess, and that is when the plane crashed. 18 of those students unfortunately lost their life. To understand the emotional impact of this crash, you can see this is the mother of a 14-year-old Dhruv, who was at a nearby tea stall. The wing of the plane basically hit Dhruv, and the mother desperately tried to save her son, but she couldn't save Dhruv. Such has been the heart-wrenching plight of around 260 such victims, families of these 260 victims, 241 on board and 19 on ground. Now, coming to your question, basically, why we are not expecting the final report of AIB to be out today? Because the testing of the engine that has been made by General Electric, it was done in April. Then the investigation, which has been jointly carried out by the AIB, by US researchers, because Boeing is from the US, General Electric is also from the US. Boeing made that 787 aircraft, as well as basically, we understand that a detailed analysis of the engine of the aircraft was being done in France by the investigators who visited France earlier, around a month ago, and then the report was sent to the United States. So a final examination report of the engine analysis is awaited, and because of that, a delay in the final report from AIB will be expected, will be likely. However, in an interim statement from the AIB is expected to come in today, following the protocol. After every year of completion, a statement needs to be given by the AIB. So an interim statement, what exactly it contains, that again we'll be keeping a close eye on. The Federation of Indian Pilots, it has basically said that the AIB should ensure that the report is full, complete and conclusive. No interim report should come out, as it was done 1 month after the crash, in which many of
the world is waiting for the final investigation report on what really led to the crash. Today is the first anniversary of the tragedy that shook the nation and the entire world. Stay on with us, Arunil. I'll come back to you once again. Let's listen in to the family members of those who lost their lives.
मेरे 4 लोग थे फ्लाइट में, भाभी, 2 बच्चे। अहमदाबाद से जो फ्लाइट क्रैश हुआ उससे हमें बुरा सदमा दिलो दिमाग में लगा है। हम 3 फैमिली हैं, मेरी बहन है, मेरी माँ है और मैं हूँ। तीनों का इतना मेंटली इतना आया है मगज पे जोर कि हमारा कुछ दिमाग ही नहीं काम करता है। अभी एक सदमे इतना हुआ कि एनी टाइम मेरी मदर की इतनी तबीयत खराब है ना, आप बात ही पूछो मत। 24 उससे बच्चे को मिस करती है, उसके बच्चे को मिस करती है। मेरे जब भी मम्मी को बोलता हूँ, मम्मी किससे बात करी है फ़ोन पर, मम्मी ऐसा बोलती है, तेरा भाई है ना गिरीश से बात करी हो, गिरीश आने वाला है, अभी गिरीश आएगा।
And since the crash last year, some in the Western media relentlessly tried to put the blame on the pilot. A lot of media reports, remember, they emerged saying that the crash was intentional, there was not any technical issue. An Italian report, in fact, literally gave a clean chit to Boeing, saying that the pilot turned off the fuel switches. This caused immense amount of distress to the families of the pilots who lost their life in this crash. And now the pilot's body, Federation of Indian Pilots, has condemned the foreign media for targeting the Indian pilots. On that, we have a breaking update coming in. In fact, we're learning that the family members of the victims of AI-171 crash in West, they will be gathering today in Ahmedabad for a remembrance program and religious rituals. The event will be held at in one of the places there in Ahmedabad from 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And during this time, the families will be praying and remembering the loved ones. After 4:30, we're learning that they will be traveling to the crash site to take part in the peaceful candlelight tribute in the memory of those who lost their life there. So a lot lined up in Ahmedabad there today. The families of those who lost their life, they will be in fact, remembering them, conducting religious rituals from 10:30 all the way to 4:30, and after 4:30 they will be arriving at the crash site, is what we're learning so far. Let me go back to my colleague Arunil on this. Arunil, you've been speaking to the family members because it's been 1 year. They have gotten no answer. Who's really responsible for this? And today we are learning that they will be gathering in Ahmedabad. They will be remembering their loved ones, conducting the religious rituals as well, and in the evening they will be arriving at the crash site.
Well, that is right, Akansha. 260 people unfortunately lost their life in this ill-fated crash. 241 were on board. One miraculously survived, and there were 18 students who lost their life and one boy who was at a tea stall. Now, there are family members who have gathered in Ahmedabad. They have come from different parts of the world, many from the United Kingdom, because around 52 were British citizens. Some of the British citizens were here sometime back paying their emotional tribute to their loved ones. But they all have one question: what wrong happened to that Air India plane? How did it basically crash only within 30 seconds after taking off? This is the question that these grieving family members have, and they've been asking for a conclusive final report from the aaib as well as the other investigators who have been investigating this. To understand the emotional plight of this, with me is the mother of Dhruv, who unfortunately lost his life. You can see she tried her she desperately tried her best to save her son who was at a tea stall, and the wing of this flight basically it hit Dhruv. मैम, अगर आप बताएंगे कि आपको ये रिपोर्ट जल्दी आना चाहिए, जवाब मिलना चाहिए कि क्या हुआ था वो प्लेन में, क्योंकि आपका भी जो लड़का था वो यहाँ पे चाय की दुकान पे था, एक प्लेन आकर गिरा, क्या मतलब आपको जवाब चाहिए सरकार से और इन्वेस्टिगेटर से जो क्या गलत हुआ?
नहीं बोल सकते, जवाब चाहिए। क्या चाहिए, कैसे हुआ, क्या हुआ, क्यों ऐसा हुआ? इतने साल में कुछ हुआ नहीं है, पास में ही रहते थे। ये पहला ही किस्सा ऐसा है, कैसा हुआ है हमने कभी अपनी लाइफ में देखा नहीं था। मेरे पापा भी इधर 50 साल से रहते थे और मेरा धंधा यही है, तो हमने ऐसा कभी अनुभव नहीं किया था, कल्पना भी नहीं किया था।
Well, Kansha, we need to understand that a lot is at stake with respect to the final report is concerned.
Right.
These grieving family members, they are seeking answers, they are pleading for answers, but these are multinational companies which are involved as well. Be it Air India, the plane was run by them, be it General Electric, the engine belonged to them, be it Boeing, one of the two big airline companies, both are US based. It was the Boeing aircraft. So the stakes are very high, and a final report from the AIB is still awaited. 1 year completion of the horrific Air India crash, and the family members are still demanding answers.
Absolutely. It is very heartbreaking to see the families there demanding answers. It's been 1 year. There's been no accountability, no responsibility, and the families there still sitting there at the crash site demanding answers and demanding for the final report also to come out. Thanks so much, Arunil, for getting us those details and the ground report. Now, when the initial report came out a month after the tragedy, we got the answers to one question: what really led to the crash? The report said that the fuel control switches, they transitioned from run to the cutoff position, one after the other with a gap of 1 second. This cut fuel supply to engine then lost the power. One pilot noticed the switches were off and asked the other, why did he do it? The other pilot denied it, and the pilot tried to turn these switches on, but it was too late for them. The report, however, did not tell us one thing, and that is what made the fuel switches transition. How did the switches which control the flow of the jet fuel to the engines, they transitioned? AI 171 investigation report will have the global ramification. Was it because of the human error or because of some of the tech glitch there? The final report should answer these key questions. All eyes will be on when this report really comes out.